Hello, it's Jim Games here once again and welcome to this new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In this video we are going to create an icon generator, so we can generate icons from any mesh that we have. Because on the next episode we will make the door so we can actually lock it, and we will have to create an icon for the key. So yeah, let's get started. First, we want to go to the blueprints and we want to actually create a new folder. Let's rename this folder to be icon generator. Let's open it. And here we want to right click and we want to search for a render target like this. Let's create one. Let's rename this to be rt_icon. Okay, let's open it. Here you can see the size X is 256 and also the Y is 256. Our icon slot or like inventory slot is 120 by 120. So let's set this to double to that value. So like 240 by 240. Okay. Now we can just save and close this. Now what we have to do is we have to create a new material. This material, let's call it icon_mat. Now let's open it and let's drag it next to the third person map. Now let's go back to the third person map. Let's get our RT icon and let's move it to the icon material. And here what we have to do, first we have to check that our sampler type is linear color, not color, because sometimes, for me at least, it will set it to color and it will give you an error. Okay, and from the RGB we have to, first we have to select our material and we have to change the material domain to user interface and blend mode to translucent. Now we can get from the RGB and connect to the final color, and from the alpha we want to get 1- like this. Let's get this a little bit closer and connect this to opacity. Simple as that. Now we can save. After that we can close that. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to create a new blueprint class type actor, and this will be called icon generator. This will be the blueprint where we will basically set the mesh that we want to generate an icon from. Let's open it. And here on the viewport, what we have to do, first we want to select our icon generator self and we want to add a scene capture component 2D like this. Then what we want to do with this is we want to enable our rotation snapping, and let's set it to 90 like this. And let's click on our camera. Let's click E on our keyboard. Let's rotate it 90 degrees so it's -90 on the set. Now we want to set it 100 units on the Y, so it's a little bit further from the 0 point. Then what we have to do is let's select the default scene route and let's add a plane. This plane, let's rename this to be background. Now let's rotate it 90 degrees like this, so it's 90 on the X. Yes, I think that's the correct one. Now let's move it to, actually let's set it to 200 on the X location, so it's here so we can see it better. Now what we have to do is we actually want to duplicate this background. Let's call this icon. Now let's set it to be 0.1 units on the Y, so it's 0.1 units to our direction basically. So it's in front of it. Now what we have to do with this is we want to change this material to be the icon mat that we just created. Okay, and also we have to select our camera again, and we have to go here to the scene capture, and we have to change the texture target to be the RT icon. Now let's select the default scene root one more time, and let's add a static mesh. It will add it to the 0 point basically. Now let's select our flashlight. Now you should see the flashlight here. If you can't, you have to double check that on the icon you have set the material to the icon matte, and on the camera you have set it to the RT icon. Okay, now let's click on the flashlight. And here on the flashlight, what we want to do now is let's rotate it like 90 degrees to the right. And then let's set its size. Let's check that our lock is locked. Let's set its size to be like 5. Okay, and now you can see it's starting to fit to this icon like screen basically. Okay, when you have it the way you want it to look, you can just compile. You can just save all. Let's move this next to the third person map. And here, when you hover over the RT icon, you can see the flashlight there. Now you want to right click, create static texture. Now you have the RT icon texture. Let's rename it to be flashlight underscore icon. Now let's double click the flashlight icon. Now you can see, you cannot actually see the flashlight, and you can see the black like background here. How you can invert that is you want to go to min alpha and you want to set it to 1 and max alpha to 0. Now you can see it's starting to look like it's supposed to look. Now we can save and go back to the third person map. Let's create a new folder here called icons. And now we can just move the flashlight icon texture to there. So yeah, simple as that. Now, what we also can do, just so we can see that it actually works, we can go to the data tables and to the items DT. And here to our base item, we can change this icon to be the flashlight icon that we just created. Like that. Now let's save, and let's actually save all. Let's go to the level, let's play. Let's pick our base item up. Now, when we open our inventory, you can see we have this nice flashlight icon here. And you can obviously change its rotation on the icon generator like this. If you rotate it, you can basically rotate it to be however you want. And the icon will look like that. Simple as that. So I actually think that was all for this video. In the next episode, we are going to actually make the doors lockable, and we will create a system that we can open it with a key. But we first, of course, have to find the key and so on. But yeah, that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one.